Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join us in singing the national anthem?
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the invocation. Father, we thank you so much for our time here together, for all the friends we have made, for all the days of laughter and fun, and for all the times of great discovery and learning. We thank you for all who have given their energy and skill so that they can graduate today. Our teachers and mentors, our family and loved ones, we thank you for them and give them all in the prayer. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We'd like to welcome you to our 181st commencement here at Carson Military Academy. We'd like to welcome some special guests that we have here in our audience with us. First of all, the parents of the seniors. Would you please rise for a brief acknowledgement? Thank you. Grandparents of seniors. Would you like to please be acknowledged? Thank you. We have with us Dr. Messner and Colonel Holman, former heads of Carson Military Academy. I'd like to welcome you. We have several members of our Board of Trustees here with us today. Would you please be recognized? We have Miss Arliss Kramus, our mayor of Bloomfield Borough. She's here with us today. And alumni. If you're an alumnus, would you please stand? Be recognized. As an administrative announcement, we do have the first chair here for the families of the seniors. If you would like to move to it when your son is receiving his diploma, we will try to go at a pace so that you can get up and get a photo. And now, for the part of the program that you're here for, our first speaker will be Cadet Tajmir Smith with Attitude.
Many kids have a big changing point in their lives. Mine happened to take place while attending high school at Carson Military Academy. Carson has taught me many great life skills. It has changed me to who I am today. Carson has taught me to control my mouth, to do what I'm told, and have patience. These are all great life skills I have in the real world, and I'm happy for this experience at Carson but I didn't always feel that way. In the beginning, I had a clean head, positive attitude, and was doing well in all my classes. After a while, things started going downhill rather quickly. I had developed a negative attitude, which had led to me getting in trouble almost every day. I'd run my mouth back to my cadet leaders as well as faculty officers. Now, I've learned to control my mouth and do what I'm told. Kinda, sorta, still working on it. But every day, I take steps to control my mouth. It doesn't work out, but I try. As time went on, I began to learn from my mistakes and listen to what my leaders had said. I had worked hard As time went on, I began to learn from my mistakes and listen to what my leaders had said. Some days taking 2 steps back and others 1 step forward. Eventually, I had gotten to where I should be and earned myself a leadership position by my junior year. Though the position was complicated, time-consuming, and aggravating, I had learned something very, very important at the end of the year. Having patience is key when it comes to dealing with others. So by the end of the year, I had gained a lot of patience, even though I didn't always show it. Now, I'm at the end of my senior year. And I know that Carson has had a huge impact on my life. And I'm thankful that Carson has given me another opportunity to change into the grown man that I am today. I would like to thank a lot of people at Carson Long. First, I will start with my Carson Long moms. There are a lot of you guys, so bear with me. First, Miss Morgan. She's always been there, told me the truth, ugly or not. Always honest. Doesn't care if I don't care about it. And sits me down when I'm wrong and says, hey, you gotta do this. You can't do that. You're growing up. In the real world, this is not you. You're better than that. Next, Miss Smallwood. She's been my advisor for 2 years, and she's always pushed me academically and behaviorally. She's always motivated me to do better and do better for myself. It doesn't matter if I mess up. It just matters what comes out of at the end. It matters if I learn from that mistake and keep going. And that's what she's taught me. Next, Mrs. Kiefer. Her son is my platoon leader in Building 49. She has taught me many skills. Last year, she didn't really like me very much. I had a bad attitude, go around cursing people out. But now, having a conversation with her, she has taught me one conversation has changed me and her and how we connect. She's told me that there's a better me inside and that I can always better myself every single day. Next, Miss Miller and Mr. Miller. Their son is on the color guard and lives in Building Annex. They have always believed in me, they've always encouraged me, and they've always trusted me. Their son started off in my building and then got moved. But their son is great, he pushes me, and I like the fact that they are always behind him and they're always behind me. Next, I would like to thank Colonel Kamoli. Colonel Kamoli, I've been here for 5 years, and Colonel Kamoli is like a dad to me. I only live with my mom and I don't have a dad. But Colonel Kamoli has pushed me, changed me, coached me, mentored me. He's done so much. Words cannot explain how I feel for this man. Days when I'm having bad days, he's always there. He sits me down, cracks a short joke because I seemingly am one of the shortest people in the school. It's fine, I'll live with that. And always keeps me on my toes, keeps me laughing, and keeps me motivated. When I'm having a bad day, he lets me vent to him, lets me sit down and say, hey, get it all out. And after that, he goes, you know what you need to do? And I say yes. But if I say no, he gives me the options and tells me, hey, this is up to you. You're gonna have to make choices in your life, but the consequences are up to you. So I'm thankful for that, man. He's always pushed me. Sports-wise, he's been a great coach. He's the basketball coach. He's also the track coach. I played basketball with him for 5 years, my junior high year. And this year we won a championship, but that's because he's a great coach. He knows what he's doing, and he never ever gives up. He might freak out on you once or twice, but you know, we'll deal with that. Next, Colonel Somerville. Colonel Somerville, he is special, let's say that. Me and him have had good terms and bad terms, mostly bad, but after a while, I found out it was my fault, not his. So, he's always looked out for my best interests, and he's always right, even though I would never admit that to him. But this man, he has to be some type of god, because he knows everything before I do it, after I do it. You know, he can read my mind. I don't know. He got some special talent. But he's always looking out for the best, and he's always telling me that I can better myself. I mean, without this man, I don't think I would have a leadership position, honestly, because he was behind my back. He always pushed me and always taught me the right thing versus the wrong. Next, Colonel Morgan. Colonel Morgan is like another father to me, because he will always be honest. This man, if you're having a bad day, he's not going to sugarcoat anything. He's just going to say, hey, you screwed up. Now you have to suffer the consequence. You own up to your mistake. It's your turn. You're growing up. You can't sit here and complain. And I'm thankful for that, because he's given me another opportunity to learn from myself. I'd also like to thank the kitchen staff. I've worked in the kitchen for 5 years. It's like a small little family. Most of the time it's just jokes on me because I'm short, once again, but I'll take that. They have always, wanted the best for me. They've also taught me and coached me in different ways than, I ever knew about myself. They put pressure on me, and that helped me grow into what I am now. Captain Prey has always looked out for me. The school, can be boring sometimes, and Captain Prey is the one that goes, hey, let's go do something, let's make it happen, and he's the one that pushes me to get all the kids involved, and he's the one that looks out for me, and sports-wise, he's like, hey, you should do this, or you should try that, and I'm thankful for that, because I wouldn't be as talented as I am now. I'd also like to thank some of my classmates. Honestly, I'd like to thank all my classmates, because they're all great kids, and they all know what they're doing, and they have very good potential, and they've all challenged me in different ways. Ways that may have gotten me in trouble, but we don't need to discuss that, we're on a good note. But they've always challenged me. But the ones I want to thank in particular would be Cadet Wood, Cadet Johnson, Cadet Choi, Cadet Leisher, Cadet YU, and Cadet Bergovich. Now, Cadet Wood, Choi, YU, and I have been here since 8th grade. And we've lived in the same building, lived on the same floor, gotten the same amount of trouble, done the same things, we're in the same classes, and we've struggled for the last 5 years together, and we made it, And I'm thankful for them, because they've pushed me in ways that I didn't know I could do. They've taught me things that I didn't know about myself, and they saw the potential in me before I saw it. So I'm thankful for you guys. I'm also thankful for Berkovich and Leisha because they came my freshman year and, well, I was the only one from New Jersey, but now I got 2 other brothers from New Jersey now, so Jersey represent, so, what's it called? Nah, they've always, had my back. Leisha, he's very smart and talented. He helped me in my academics, and Berkovich has always pushed me and taught me the right things, even put me on the right path a couple times after I screwed up, so I'm thankful for him. But I'm also want to say thank you to Johnson. If you don't know, Johnson and I are like brothers, both very loud, we both curse a lot, and we get in the same amount of trouble, let's just put it that way. But this kid came here our freshman year. I don't know why he got here, but when he came here, he was like a spark in my life. He changed me, he pushed me, and never let me down. This man had my back when I was in trouble, when I did something wrong, or I just needed somebody to talk to. This man stayed with me all night, we text, talk. This man would practice football with me when there's nothing to do. We would do everything together, And without him, I don't think I'd be here to this day. So I'm very thankful for Johnson. I'm also thankful for some of the alumni that are here. Cadet Stannis, Cadet Willis, Cadet Amir, and Cadet Richards, as well as my first year company commander, Cadet Clapp. They have molded me, changed me, pushed me, challenged me on levels that, didn't even know I could reach, but I'm thankful for you guys because now I'm here, I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm about to graduate and go to college. So thank you for your help and everything you guys have done for me. And to the class of 2017, it's our time. Let's just go get it and do what we got to do. Because now we step into the real world, there's no going back. There's no GOs. It's what it is. You do what you do, and that's your consequence. And I want you guys to know I'm thankful for you and that I love you guys. Thank you.
The next speaker will be Cadet Mustafa Pahardi with Control Emotions and Look Forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, I am a big history guy. I like to talk about history. So, I like to talk about things that happened in the past. And this is related to me, Colin, and Carson Long. So in my junior year, before Christmas, due to the school is really tough and me and Colin wanted to transfer to another school in the United States. So I contacted my parents and my dad asked me, do you think you're ready? And I said, of course I'm ready. And he said one thing that, put it in my heart. He said, tough situations create strong people. But I didn't listen to him in the beginning, and I still go find school outside. I contact one of my friends in New York City, and she said she will help us, and she's familiar with the director of admission in another school. So we went to New York City. But the thing we don't know is, before we went to New York City, there were an accident happened on her friend, and she went to another state. So our plans screwed up. We came back to Carson Long. And that made me think that is there some miracle that happened on God thinks that I have to graduate from this school? Now I'm standing here, it seems like God is real. So when I come back and I think my dad, what my dad told me, he said, tough situation created strong people. So I put that in my mind, and nowadays I standing here, there are two things I think that affect me the most, which is control my emotions and don't give up. Speak to the first one, control my emotions. Before I came to Carson Long, I am really easy to get mad, even in my first year. A lot of people who know me in first year know that. I get met easy to things, people's unfairness, etc. So in my second year, after I come back from that scene, my platoon sergeant get fired from his position, and I take over platoon sergeant of Belfield Hall. Belfield Hall back then was a really tough building. Me and Leisher know it, because he was my platoon leader. We have to stay there for 4 months until last year's graduate. Due to Lieutenant Rich's suggestion, I'm not going to point out names, so I'll say there is a Mr. X. I have a problem with him. Mr. X liked to argue with me a lot. And you know, like, I'm from other countries, so I think in some point Mr. X that improved my English, so I can, so I get TOEFL speaking 23 out of 30. So thank you, Mr. X. So there's one morning, right up there in the formation area, I get really pissed off of Mr. X, and I walk away to the back. And what I don't realize, there's a guy called Rene. He was a company commander. He came to me, and he asked me what happened. I told him he pissed me off and blah blah blah. So he only said one thing: don't let your emotion control you. You control your emotion. And I put that into my heart. I think deep through, because when people mad, you think, why I get mad? So I was thinking. Even nowadays, I still think that this sentence have helped me a lot. Even I'm not that perfect, I still get mad, but I think I am way more better than what I am in the beginning. So speak to the second thing, don't give up. I remember before I came to this school, I didn't finish the one period of school in one school. So I studied in my hometown, and I went to the capital of my hometown, and I went to Guangzhou, and I even studied English in Beijing before I came here. I didn't stay in a school too long. So after that thing happened, I realized that this is the school, I need to graduate, so I didn't give up for this school. Due to the circumstances I have last year when I was a platoon sergeant, it created me that I don't easy to give up, because there are so many things stressful happening in the morning, happening in the drill. It just stressed me every single day. But I think I've been through that. I heard from a lot of people saying that Carson is not good, and many of juniors or freshmen said they're not going to come back next year. But I have a suggestion. I think tough situation created strong peoples. Carson is a really tough environment. So is outside the world. I believe the class of 2017 who are graduated, we already been through this tough environment, which can help us when we go into the outside real world. You can tough it up and to deal with what you have next. In the end, I have a lot of people I want to thank. The first people I want to thank is Mrs. Klein. She had helped me and Cole a lot since our first year. She is like really the kindest teacher I have ever seen in the United States. Because back when I am in China, the educations were tough. There are no many relationship in between students and teachers. So thank you, Miss Klein. And the second teacher I want to thank is Miss Pio. She has been our advisor for 3 years, my advisor. Even she still didn't memorize my name well, but that's okay. So, Miss Pio have always stood there. Even in this year, she helped us to get in college. Also, with Commander Ross. So thank you, Miss Pio. And the third person I want to thank is Colonel Morgan. So, Colonel Morgan, I had Colonel Morgan's World War I and II history class this year. Just like Cone said yesterday, I believe Colonel Morgan is a define of a teacher. He is really responsible to his students in the class, in the school. I believe if every teacher is going to be like Colonel Morgan, our education is going to be 100 times better in the United States from right now. So thank you, Colonel Morgan. And the third person I want to thank, it's Mrs. Bartlett. Mrs. Bartlett came half year. She is really responsible to us. Even I'm not on her oration group, but she still asked me about the oration stuff and also the homework. She have helped me and Con to pass our TOEFL test. So thank you, Miss Bartlett. Also, I want to thank all the cadets in 2017 graduating. Most of you have been with me 3 years. In the end, I want to thank my good friend Con. Everybody knows my relationship with Con. He have been my friend since my first year. Me and him, I think we're gonna become a lifetime friend. We're like brothers since our first year. So thank you, Con. And in the end, I want to thank my parents. They sent me to this school, let me get education, and have encouraged me from where I am today. Thank you.
The next speaker will be Cadet Daniel Sindoni with campaign.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm going to take this. I want to start off by saying I have a pretty bad tremor, so I'm shaking a lot. This speech is definitely not making it any better, but just bear with me. You know, no matter how you look at it, no matter how optimistic or positive you try to stay, from the cadet's point of view, sometimes you're going to feel alone. That's okay. The thing is, we have leaders and we have faculty that are supposed to look out for us and supposed to support us and motivate us. And when I first got here, I just didn't get that. I have leaders just a year or two older than me, faculty not qualified to counsel, and it was really hard for me. Now see, the fact of the matter is, you guys drop us off and say, hey, see you in 9 months, kid, good luck. And that's really the end of it. See, at this point, I'd like to recognize the people who I feel have helped me the most over my 3 years, and that's the Smallwood family. From being a shoulder to cry on, the person who helped me cope with my anxiety, and to just being like an all-around good person, good mother, even taking care of me when I was sick. Ms. Brennan, you have always been an open ear and an open heart. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Smallwood. After long days, which there are many of, Lieutenant Smallwood always knew how to put a smile on my face. And Lieutenant Smallwood, you will never know how valuable our friendship is to me. I even want to extend my gratitude to the Smallwood kids. Interacting with them and playing with them contributed to what I want my calling to be. It's healthcare. It contributed to me getting my biggest leadership position as C Company Commander with the little guys. Smallwoods, you will always hold a very special place in my heart, and I will really never forget everything that you guys have done for me. Next, I'd like to thank my big brother, Chris. Chris, you are my best friend, and I love you with all my heart. Thank you for coming out. Just a few things that this kid has taught me. He taught me how to talk to girls. He taught me how to cook. He taught me how to drive stick shift. He taught me how to ride a motorcycle without killing myself. And most importantly, he taught me how to be more mature. And a lot of my personality that I have, I got from him. Any maturity that I had when I got here is because of him. Chris, you're really the man, bro. I love you. And thank you for bringing Erica. I know that the drive sucks, but thanks for coming out. Next, I'd like to thank my mother. Give me a break, I might choke up here. I'd like to thank my mother. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. Against everyone's advice, against Chris's advice, against my dad's advice, against my advice, of course, she sent me here. And I could not begin to imagine how hard it is having your youngest child call you every night, sobbing, begging you to bring them home, and you have to say no. Because she knew that this place was doing a lot of good for me, and she has invested so much in my education. She's going to continue to invest so much in my education, and Mom, I can never ever repay you for the opportunities that you've given me. I'd like to thank my father, my role model, my hero. Dad, where are you? Yeah, he's my role model, my hero. I mean, there is no man that I respect more or I strive to be like more than my dad. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He can go in a room and his smile will light it up. Anyone he meets just falls in love with him. He's really the man. He has been my #1 supporter. He has been my #1 fan over these 17 years. Thank you for bringing Gloria, and thank you for driving. You always complain about the drive. It sucks, I know. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate that. Next, I'd like to thank the rest of my family that came. Aunt Denny, you came all the way up from Texas. That was definitely a long flight. I got my tia Nella and my Uncle Ed. You guys came up from Costa Rica. That had to be a long flight. And then they get to New York, and then they drive 4 hours out into the middle of nowhere. And it's a lot of traveling. And I really appreciate you guys being out here with me on my very special day. I would definitely say that this year was a challenge. I was the Charlie Company commander, so I had the little guys. And I know that I'm mean to you guys sometimes, and sometimes you don't like me and I give you our guard, but just know you guys have really, really touched my heart, and I've learned so much this year. You guys were really awesome. I mean, I can't even begin to express how thankful I am for you guys not coming in my room at night and beating me up. I'd like to say God bless America. I'd like to say God bless Carson Long. God bless class of 2017. And last but certainly not least, God bless Charlie Company.
The next speaker is the Battalion Executive Officer, Cadet Hun Sung Yu, with My Story.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I speak today, I have one thing to confess. I have a new draft of my ration right here in my hand. I wrote it this morning. Therefore, this speech will be disorganized, and it may not be as eloquent as it could have been. And before I start, I must give a sigh, as Major Kill requested. For the last 5 years I spent at Carson Long, I witnessed numerous changes. And to just give you the numbers, I had seen 4 different presidents. Excuse me. 4.
Be loud. Use your big boy voice. Big boy voice. Big boy. Just start yelling. Big boy voice.
I'll continue. Now, to continue, I had seen 4 different presidents over the last 5 years. I had to say goodbye to 16 or more faculty and staff, and other minor changes. With those changes, I was fairly convinced that this place has become a different place from what I knew in my first year. In my sophomore year, I was Skyping with my mother, and I was trying very hard to convince my mom that this place is not the place we knew when my brother was here and when I was here in freshman year. My mother usually argues me back, but this time my father says something to me, and he rarely makes comment to me or says something to me, so I usually take my father's words seriously. And if I translate what he said to me in English, it may sound awkward. What he said to me was, "The sense does not change." I didn't reply to what he said back then, but I took a moment and meditated on it, as Ms. B says often. And I thought about it for the last 2 years, whether he's right or I'm right. And here is my conclusion. Of course, my father was right. Now, to help the audience understand what he really meant, I believe what he meant was Carson is the same place as I've known, regardless of my feelings or preconceptions. Hold up. Yes, so after giving a thought of what my father said, I agreed to him, and I agreed to him because Carson has always been a school where young boys can learn. Now, some of you might look at me crazy because it is a school, of course. But I say this, I emphasize this, because it is different from any other schools. It is a school where young boys come and become men. And many of you might have heard this phrase, "We come here as a boy and become men." I would like to explain that to you guys today, because it is important. When people here say, "I became a man," I believe that means we finally recognize what person we are, and we finally understand what we like or what we dislike. We understand our strengths and weaknesses. And Carson is the best school that I knew to teach that to young boys. So why is that important? No, actually, let me explain that first, how we learn about ourselves. There are a few differences between CLMA and our homes. It is middle of nowhere. But besides that, if we fight our friends or teachers back at home, we can go back home and forget about what happened at school. And also, we have our secret weapons called parents to call the school. At CLMA, we don't have parents, although some seem to have a way of that still. But that's Konosawa's issue, not my problem. When you don't have parents to fight for you or argue for you, you have only one choice here at Carson, because whether you like
your peers or not, or teachers, you look at them, you have to talk with them every day. When you confront them from morning to night, and you have problems with them, you have no choice but to resolve that issue, whatever you have. And the only way to do so is to think about what you did or you said, instead of what others did to us or said to us. And that makes a big difference between boys and men. Not all of us here achieve that, unfortunately, but many of us happen to do so because we get stuck in situations so many times. After complaining about what others said or did, we eventually think about what we did or said to others and hurt their feelings or teachers' feelings. It is difficult to do so, to think about us rather than others, but it makes us stronger. So why am I saying this today? It is important for both parents and cadets to understand that, because there is a value. There is a value in attending Carson Long, because that is the lesson that we may not ever learn in any other places, any other countries. South Korea supposedly has a great public education, but they never taught me that. They only taught me numbers. I wanted to tell parents how difficult it is at Carson Long to be a cadet and student. It is painful, but it is worth it, I think. For the underclassman who is not clearly listening to me right now, which is fine, I wanted to give some faith in you about this place. I hear you complain about this school every day, which I did, and which I still do. But I never see you trying to understand the rules here we have, trying to listen to the teachers, peer leaders, trying to try anything here Carson Long has for us, really. Not for the school, for us. I don't see many people do that anymore. And to me, it is a pity that cadets here are losing the opportunities to learn and become men. That is why I'm speaking this today. Not because I want to look as a leader. I wanted to share my thought, and I wanted you not to repeat the mistakes I made. It took me 5 years to realize that. Now, I would like to recognize and thank certain people. I would like to recognize my cadet leaders and colleagues, even though it doesn't mean anything. Cadet leaders here do a lot of work, but unfortunately, parents are not too concerned about that. They're worried about whether our diplomas, which makes sense. I would like to start out with our 3 company commanders. I was going to write a recommendation for all 3 of them to be Cadet of the Year, but I was busy watching Game of Thrones. I owe you an apology. Now for Smith, as he confessed, he curses a lot, he talks a lot, but he really had a tough building this year, 49. And he had tough building chain of command as well. But he really stepped up and he dealt with them in his own way, because he developed his own leadership style for the last 5 years he spent here. I wanted to recognize him for that. Now, Paharding B Company Commanders has 2 buildings, 2 platoons. He has the only company that has 2 platoons, and it is difficult. and he didn't have first sergeant as well. So I would like to recognize him. For Sindoni, he had junior high building, and junior high building is a struggle every day, every morning. Now parents do not know what happens in junior high building because you're not supposed to know, and you should not know. But you must remember one person dealt with all those problems, what happened in Willow Hall this year, and that is Sindoni. And he deserves people's appreciation from us.
Now with the battalion staff, because I was the chief of staff, that was my title, I owe them both appreciation and apology. The staff this year messed around, we did. Our rooms were not always clean, and we weren't always helping the building officers necessarily. We sometimes led the horsing around, but we took charge. The battalion staff this year was professional. And what I mean by that, by professional, we didn't wear a tie every day, but rather we did our job with responsibility. No, actually, they did, the staff. Although they were professional, I wasn't always professional with them due to my personality and arrogance. And I do owe them tremendous apology. And I would like to recognize them individually, whether they care or not. Now starting with Allison, our S1. Now S1 deals with the disciplinary orders. He knows who gets in trouble in the school. So he has some power, he has some information. Now many people just may see him as a clerk who does paperwork, but one day I saw him talking to people who are struggling, who are having problems in OD's office, and he was very serious, although he's not usually. I saw a different side of Allison, and ever since then I've been very impressed by Allison, and not many people know what he has done as S1. Now with Johnson, he is the one staff member who surprised me, Major Keel, and First Sergeant Bloom by the most. He was the most reliable S2 I've ever seen, and I hope he knows that. Now regarding Lesher, he knows he was a good S3. Without Lesher, it would have been very difficult for me to be XO. Now he will admit that he was not great. He was not the greatest in the building, but he was the best down in that department. For both Kong and Centeni, they were good S4s. I'd like to thank Centeni for stepping up in the middle of the air. And for Kong, although many people may look at this differently, I believe he did the right thing. He made his own choice, and he should not be ashamed of his choice. I wanted to say that to Kong. For Wood, he says he doesn't do much as S5, and he's wrong. He coordinated a lot of projects like military ball and dining in. And Wood needs to be pushed sometimes, but he does what needs to be done. So I'd like to thank him for that. Sergeant Major worked with Color Guard every single morning we've been here. I mean, every single morning. And I see some commitment from that. I don't know if that worked out though. But. Yes. And lastly, for Troy. Just to avoid confusion, I'm not interested in men, but Troy has been a gift to me. When I came here, I did not expect another Korean student, same age, same grade. He came here my second semester in my 8th grade. And ever since then, we went through a lot, maybe too much, together. He's been a brother to me, maybe more brother to than my actual brother, because we've seen each other more than I actually saw my brother. He was there. He listened to my complaints a lot. I want to say sorry for that. He said it's okay. I hope I helped him to survive CLMA as he helped me as well. I have many faculty to thank you. I'm not going to go over the individuals since we're running out of time. I know who you are. I will not forget what you did for me. I will pay back somehow in the future. For my brother, who's not here, he always set the bar high for me. He always gives me motivation. He always pushes me. And someday I would like to work with him in the future, somehow. For my parents, I am sorry for my mother, since she could not live with her only 2 sons for a decade now, because we were too ambitious and we wanted to study in the States. Although my father made the money for that, my mom definitely deserves my thank and apology. And for my father, he could have bought different things instead of paying tuition for a decade. I would like to thank him for that. And I will see them after graduation today. Thank you.
With our final oration, the Cadet Battalion Commander, Cadet Junior Choi, within command of ourselves.
Thank you, sir. All right, so here it is. Well, first, I would like to thank the oration group for the long speeches, which gave me enough time to prepare in the back. Thank you. All right. Plenty enough of time. I'm usually the quiet and observant one, and actually all of them are talkative ones, and it seems like I have to be quiet and observant again, due to the time limit. But today, forgive me. All right, it's my last day here. I gotta give a speech. Well, I would like to dedicate the speech to God, our Father Almighty. Okay, He has been the shepherd of my life and the source of my success. Without Him, I will not be standing here in front of you today. But most of all, I thank Him for finally letting the dream of graduation come true. I've been praying for a while, you know. Well, but now the 4.5 years of my time at Carson has come down to only a few minutes before I become one of His alumni. Before I do that, I want to leave you with a word of wisdom. While many of you would expect a graduating senior like me to give an inspiring speech to motivate my fellow graduates or underclassmen to strive for success or never give up in their lives in the near future, or to talk about funny episodes at Carson that has taught me a lifelong lesson, I would simply like to talk about and share my life story. That's it, nothing more. I come from a military family in Korea, and I lived in more places than I can count in my hands. Although there's the benefit of living in new environments and new people, to undergo the sadness of departing from what I become so much used to was unpleasant and painful experience, especially when you have to go through them so much as a child. I could never get used to it. But the more I moved around, more lonely I felt. And I noticed that, looking back in years, I did not have a city or a town that I can call it a home, or friends who are close enough to me that I can call them brothers, or a school I can proudly call it as my alma mater. However, I came to Carson, and this is where I found all three of them. Well, this is a home, and they gave me a home when I was lost. They gave me friends when I was lonely. For that, I thank you sincerely, Carson. This truly has been my home away from home. So, after living nomadic life, once I've settled in Carson, once I've settled in Carson, I realized one important lesson when looking back at years. To be grateful of the day you have right now. To be grateful of the day you have right now. That's true. The reason why I say this is because every new home I lived in, every new school I attended, every new people I met, I could not avoid the feelings of nostalgia of the places I lived before. This moment, the place, this time you're spending right now will never come again. So this moment that you have right now at Carson is one-time experience. So live it to your fullest. Well, I had a whole bunch of oration prepared, but as soon as I stepped up, everything blacked out. So I'm just gonna improvise. Okay, I'm gonna put my big boy pants on. I'm just gonna go it. So the time. Why I think you should appreciate and spend this time, appreciate this moment to your fullest. Because I wasn't as appreciative or thankful as many of the underclassmen would be sitting there while I graduate. Sorry. But when I came back to school, my sophomore year, the day I returned to Harrisburg Airport was one of the most miserable days of my life because it was a hot summer day and I had a torn ACL and I just had a reconstruction. Right? So I was limping and with the crutches on. As I went towards the entrance, I walked out and there was a sign at the wall by the entrance. It says, "Enjoy the gift of an ordinary day." As soon as I saw that, I had a flashback of all the moments that I spent in Carson, all the things that I was able to achieve and learn, all the people that I was able to meet. A group of teachers and brothers who shares a unique brotherhood after going through both good and difficult times together. Not alone, but together. Together. So then I realized if this time were to be the only time that I will not be able to spend it again ever in my life, if this time were to become memories of the past, I will live it my days to the fullest in Carson. Yeah. I'm getting really nervous, my bad. I'm sorry. Well, now I would like to just say a special thank you to the people. I would really like to say thank you to my mom. She is the only mom, the one and only mom that I really, really love. She's always been there for me when I'm lost, when I'm lonely. She has always traveled around with me, and she always held my back. I'm not the most openly emotional guy. I don't say it, but I love you, Mom. I love you so much. In Korean, 엄마 사랑해요. Next, I would like to say special thanks to certain faculties out there, especially Ms. Klein, Miss Morgan, and Major Holman. They did more than what they're supposed to as a faculties and teachers. They did not only do so much for me, but for the cadets. They sincerely care about cadets. They put their free times, and they spend their free times to care about the cadets. You guys are the best mentor and teacher that I've ever met. I appreciate so much for that. Now, the brothers that I have in Carson, all of you, but especially some of you who are not here who graduated, I would like to thank Estep, Eugene, Sickler, DeSantis, Smith, Wood, YU, and all of them. They've been my brothers. They were always the first one to put a smile on my face when I had a long day at Carson. I cannot say in words how much I appreciate you guys. Right? Hopefully, we're brothers for life. So now, I don't want to make this too long. So may our life be joyful in the future. May we be thankful. All right, all of you, be safe, stay out of trouble, keep your rooms clean. All right, and God bless you all. Thank you.
I'd like to give the speakers one more round of applause, please. As we've gone through these various commencement events, I took a little time and reflected on some of the activities that the class of 2017 and the other students participated in and were involved in addition to their regular school activities. Some of these activities were athletic. They were cross-country, soccer, basketball with our championship basketball team, baseball, track, and tennis. Some were art-related with Youth Art Day, completion and dedication of the JRTC mural, the rock concert, the Glee Club concerts, and numerous national anthem performances with our quartet this year. Some were related to JRTC. There was the drill team that went and participated in the competition in New York. The JPA prep and briefing, where they maintained the honor unit with distinction, JLab, and the multitude of color guard appearances that our color guard took part in. These extra activities are what makes a difference and have helped make our cadets well-rounded individuals. One of the pieces of advice that I would like to give the class of 2017 is life happens. Sometimes it happens quickly. You need to be flexible and you need to be adaptable. As we've gone through these commencement exercises, one of the expressions that stuck out quite frequently is fill in the ranks, dress right, cover down, carry on. This would happen at parade practices. This happened with their ceremony practices. One of the things to remember when things go awry, dress right, or fill in the ranks, dress right, cover down, and continue the mission. One of our goals here is that we hope to give you a moral compass. There are two expressions that you've heard throughout your time here at Carson Long. One of those is choices and consequences. Generally, this was in Colonel Somerville's office when something bad had happened, and we were discussing the choices that you made and the negative consequences that were now coming your way because of the poor choice. But there was one point, and I've heard Colonel Somerville give this as a chapel speech, and it's been emphasized over and over. There is a positive side to choices and consequences as well. When you study for a test, you've made a choice. When you get the A on the test, there is the positive consequence. So remember, as you're going through, choices and consequences, and it doesn't always have to be negative. The other part of that, and the other expression that goes hand in hand with that, is choose the harder right instead of easy or wrong. Consider this, please, when you are weighing the choices and consequences. From experience, the harder right is always the best choice. But it's called the harder right for a reason. You will face many decisions in your life, and we hope that you will use your experience, wisdom, knowledge, and moral compass to choose wisely. As I leave you, I'd like to give you a last little bit of advice, as I've been known to do. Part of it's just kind of random, so bear with me as we go through. God gives you your family, but you pick your friends. Pick wisely, for you will be judged by the company that you keep. Whether that's right or wrong, that is how you will be judged. While you consider yourself a young man and a young adult, remember that you are always your parents' child. And Mr. Fernandez, here's the part for you. The most important part of this deal is that if mom is not happy, no one is happy. With that, I would like to say goodbye, farewell, and good luck to the seniors of the class of 2017. And in the words of the Vulcan philosophy from the Star Trek series, live long and prosper. If you will join us now, we will sing Farewell to Thee. Or the alma mater. I'm sorry, the alma mater. Be seated. Next, we will have the awarding of medals, prizes, and scholarships with Colonel Kamali, Colonel Somerville, and Captain Pratt.
It is my great honor to present these commencement medals, prizes, and scholarships. We'll begin with the medals. The Carson Long Founders Medal is presented in memory and honor of Colonel Theodore K. Long, Colonel Edward L. Holman, Master Sergeant Clark Lee Holman, and Colonel Carson E.R. Holman, to the cadet who best exemplifies how to learn, how to labor, how to live, and always chooses the harder right instead of the easier wrong. The 2017 recipient of the Founders Medal is Cadet Stephen Washington. The Political Geography Medal is presented to the cadet who shows the greatest interest in the field of political geography. The 2017 recipient of the Political Geography Medal is Cadet Daniel Lesher. The Douglas J. Kleintop Medal is presented to a junior school cadet for scholastic excellence and military achievement reflecting credit upon himself and the school. It is awarded in memory of Douglas J. Kleintop by his father, Donald R. Kleintop, 53. The recipient of the 2017 Kleintop Medal is Cadet Adonis Peralta.
Fine job, gentlemen.
The Carson Long Alumni Medal is presented by the Carson Long Alumni Association to the cadet who excels in good fellowship. The 2017 recipient of the Carson Long Alumni Medal is Cadet Mustafa Pahardi. The Rich Hansen 45 Sportsmanship and Athletic Memorial Award is presented to the school's most outstanding athlete. The recipient's name will be engraved on the Hansen Trophy on display in Carson Long's trophy case. The recipient of the 2017 Hansen Award is Cadet Tajmir Smith. The Carson Long Medal for Ethical Values is awarded to the cadet who has demonstrated outstanding ethical values following the school's mission and founding principles. The recipient of the 2017 Ethical Values Medal is Cadet AJ Migliorini. The Carson Long Medal for Academic Standing is awarded to the graduating senior who has attained the highest academic standing in the school for the current school year. The recipient of the 2017 Academic Standing Medal is Cadet Hyun-Sung Yu. Next, we present our prizes, which include a cash award. The New Bloomfield Civic Club Community Service Prize is awarded by the New Bloomfield Civic Club to the cadet who has demonstrated the highest commitment to community service. The 2017 recipient of the Civic Club Community Service Prize is Cadet Tajmir Smith. The New Bloomfield Civic Club Prize is awarded by the New Bloomfield Civic Club to the cadet who has shown the most potential in the field of music. The recipient of the 2017 Civic Club Music Prize is Cadet Stephen Washington. The Carson Long Music Prize is presented by Miss Tracy Klein to the cadet who has shown the most potential in the field of vocal and instrumental music. The recipient of the 2017 Carson Long Music Prize is Cadet Hyun-Sung Yu. The Carson Long Art Prize is awarded to the cadet who has shown the most improvement in the field of art. The recipient of the 2017 Carson Long Art Prize is Cadet Xiong. The Joseph Patrick Rogers Award is awarded in memory of Joseph Patrick Rogers by his grandson, Captain Richard Rogers, and his wife, Madeline, to the school's most improved athlete. The recipient of the 2017 Rogers Award is Cadet Jacob Youngworth.
Fine job, gentlemen.
The Brigadier General Frank Tressler Science Award is awarded in memory of Brigadier General Frank Tressler to the cadet with the greatest proficiency in natural science. Brigadier General Tressler was Perry County District Attorney
a member of the Pennsylvania National Guard, noted Perry County geologist and historian, and Carson Long trustee. The recipient of the 2017 Tressler Science Award is Cadet Zachary Brown. The Dr. Miguel V. Tejera Chemistry Award is awarded by Colonel Juan I. Tejera in memory of his father, Dr. Miguel V. Tejera, to the cadet who has shown the greatest interest in the field of chemistry. The recipient of the 2017 Tejera Chemistry Prize is Cadet Brandon Yorth. The Matthew Weiss Soccer Award is presented in memory of Matthew Weiss, 97, by his parents and brothers, to the cadet on the soccer team who best demonstrated 1, a can-do attitude, and 2, the flexibility and willingness to do whatever needed to further the performance of the team. This player's love of the game inspired cooperation and dedication among his teammates. The recipient of the 2017 Weiss Soccer Award is Cadet Shuyang Wei. The New Bloomfield Lions Club Leadership Prize is awarded by the New Bloomfield Lions Club to the cadet in the senior class who has weathered adversity to graduate successfully. The recipient of the 2017 Lions Club Leadership Prize is Cadet Nazir Johnson.
Good job, gentlemen.
Our final presentation of awards is the scholarship category. Scholarships are discounts applied to the following year's tuition. The Sergeant First Class William L. Stone Scholarship is awarded in memory of Sergeant Stone, who taught in the JROTC department and instructed the drill team at Carson Long for 17 years. Over the course of that time, he led the drill team to 6 league championships. While he trained and mentored JROTC and drill team cadets, his ultimate goal was to instill a sense of responsibility and strength of character in Carson Long cadets. The recipient of the 2017 Stone Scholarship is Cadet Gabriel Allen. The Major John Albert Raymer Scholarship is presented to the cadet who best exhibits good judgment and moral values. The recipient of the 2017 Raymer Scholarship is Cadet A.J. Migliorini. The Hans Sofran Scholarship is presented to a high school junior cadet that faced disciplinary action or personal adversity throughout the year and was able to rebound, show determination, and leadership potential. The recipient of the 2017 Hans Sofran Scholarship is Cadet Danny Chor. The Kenny Reynolds Scholarships are presented to 2 Carson Long cadets who exhibit good cheer and happiness. The recipients of the 2017 Kenny Reynolds Scholarships are Cadet Shuyang Wei and Cadet Rudy Herrera. The Elizabeth Holman Reynolds Scholarships are presented in memory of Beth Reynolds, great niece of school founder Theodore K. Long and longtime Carson Long trustee and treasurer. The recipients of the 2017 Elizabeth Holman Reynolds Scholarships are Cadet Kevin Hunter and Cadet Jacob Youngworth. The Matthew J. Laporte Memorial Scholarship is awarded to the cadet who puts the well-being of others before himself, models what needs to be done, and exemplifies deeds, not words. Matthew Laporte, 05, was a member of Carson Long's Gold Star platoon, killed while trying to protect his classmates during the Virginia Tech massacre. The recipient of the 2017 Laporte Memorial Scholarship is Cadet Austin Holtzapple.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
The Colonel Kenneth P. Stewart Memorial Scholarship is awarded by Carson Long alumni in memory of Colonel Kenneth P. Stewart. Colonel Stewart served as a teacher, coach, and mentor at Carson Long for 45 years. He gave 100% to the mission and values of the school. He influenced hundreds of young men to become productive, upstanding, and responsible citizens. This scholarship goes to a cadet in the junior class who, through his actions, words, and deeds, displayed the utmost courage in showing honesty and integrity in the face of adversity. The recipient of the 2017 Stewart Scholarship is Cadet Rudy Herrera. The Miles Thorne Memorial Scholarship is awarded in memory of Miles Thorne, 05, by his parents to the cadet who has overcome obstacles, befriended new cadets, and represented the school's mission and values. The recipient of the 2017 Thorne Memorial Scholarship is Cadet Shuyang Wei. The Gold Star Platoon Scholarship is awarded by the Carson Long Alumni Association in memory of those Carson Long graduates who made the ultimate sacrifice. The recipient of the 2017 Gold Star Platoon Scholarship is Cadet Lucas Fitchett. The Mayo Scholarships are awarded by Andrew C. Mayo, 70, in memory of his father, Robert L. Mayo, 36, and his brother, Richard L. Mayo, to the freshman, sophomore, and junior living in Building Annex with the highest GPA in his class. The recipients of the 2017 Mayo Scholarships are Cadets A.J. Migliorini, Zach Brown, and Gabriel Allen.
Good job, gentlemen.
The Brigadier General Frank E. Tressler Scholarships are awarded in memory of Brigadier General Frank Tressler to 5 cadets for their loyalty, goodwill, and meritorious service. The recipients of the 2017 Tressler Scholarships are Cadet Lucas Fitchett, Cadet Austin Holtzapfel, Cadet Kevin Hunter, Cadet Laven Miller, and Cadet Omar Saror. The Bixler Scholarships are awarded to 2 underclassmen demonstrating strong academic performance. Dr. Harris J. Bixler, 49, was longtime chairman of the Carson Long Foundation. The recipients of the 2017 Bixler Scholarships are Cadet Zachary Brown and Cadet A.J. Migliorini.
Good job, gentlemen.
And last but certainly not least, for anybody that doesn't know, we have an honor building competition throughout the year. Inspections, GPA, orders, demerits, all of those things play a factor. It's always been a pretty tough competition. Colonel Somerville normally reads the list in reverse order, which confuses everybody. So I'll just tell you who the winner for 2016-17. The 2016-17 honor building is Building Annex.
At this time, I would like to, we will be awarding our faculty or staff member of the year. Now, this award was, what we did was we allowed the faculty to nominate their peers. And I'd like to recognize the nominees that were nominated for it. Lieutenant Vladimir Arredondo, Mrs. Christy Bartlett, Mrs. Carolyn Pio, and Mr. Bob Staley. The winner of the Faculty of the Year, or Faculty or Staff Member of the Year this year, is Mrs. Carolyn Pio. The nomination, actually, Mrs. Pio, it's kind of interesting. She was nominated by one of the other nominees and by another member of the faculty. And the nomination read along the lines of all the activities that she's involved in or has initiated here at Carson Law, which include the engineering club, the STEAM program, community service, cross country, robotics, and the yearbook. Again, we'd like to thank you, Mrs. Pio, for all of your dedication and service here at Carson Law. And now the Glee Club will perform Give Us Hope.
Where's my boost?
And now the moment the seniors have been waiting for, the presentation of the diplomas. Reminder, we have the seat if you need to move up to get a quick photo.
Who's ready to become alumni? I have all 12 of the certificates up here. Hey, it's up from 8. When I call your name, please come down and receive your diploma. Colonel Morgan. Battalion Commander, Junior Choi.
Good job, kid.
Graduate, Abdullah Amadouche. Graduate, Grant Andrew Allison.
You're not even looking.
Graduate, Ruben Christopher Arias. Graduate, Ari Moisey Berkovich.
Congratulations, Mr. Kirk. Oh, I got my paycheck!
Graduate, Noad Bokadita. I'm going to give this a try, folks. Graduate, Kaylin Esteban Fernandez Castillo.
Alan, look at me, Alan. Congratulations, buddy.
Congratulations.
Graduate, Raymond Paul Santani. Graduate, Nazir Kevin Dwayne Johnson.
Good job, Johnson. Hey, Johnson. He's smiling. He's smiling.
Thank you.
Great job.
Give me Nazir.
Graduate, Jean-Louis Kong. Graduate, Daniel Colin Leicester.
Congratulations. Graduate, who's the top of my heritage? Graduate, Vaughn Ralliford. Graduate, Jason Salvatore Russo.
Thank you, sir.
Graduate, Daniel Sindoni.
Shut up.
You don't always dance one.
Graduate, who's still talking. Kazimir Smith.
All right, Dodge.
Graduate, Stephen Lewis Washington Jr. Congratulations. Graduate, Madison Wood. Graduate and class valedictorian, Youngstone Youth. As the year went by and every one of you asked me, why do I have to take this class? Now you know. Congratulations, class of 2017.
We have a song. Now, if you would join us in singing Farewell to Thee. It's found on the back of your program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the benediction, followed by the retiring of the colors and taps. At this time, I would ask the seniors, please put on your caps.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the benediction. Father, as this chapter on the lives of the class of 2017 closes, so a new one begins. We present them like an open book before you. Come inscribe your words of life into their lives. Fill our minds with your thoughts. Fill our bodies with your strength. Fill our hearts with your dreams. Amen.
Amen.
Color guard! Retire the colors! Color guard. Out. Color guard. Out. Hose. Out. Please, out. Order, out. Please, out. Out. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the Carson Military Academy class of 2017.